Okay, welcome back to my desktop and back to ChatGPT. What I'd like to model for you this time is how to take something you've already written and use ChatGPT to help you figure out where you can make it better, more distinctive, more original, more successful. Okay, again, I'm going to use this conversation that I've already generated so that we can go a little bit more quickly. Here is my passage that's already written. This is student work from a previous term that I'm using with permission. It's basically about getting up in the morning and going through the morning routine and then going to the local coffee shop where there is a girl that he wants to ask out. Some pretty common stuff in student fiction. Okay, so what I'm saying is I'm giving it a pretty specific prompt here. I'm a college student in a creative writing course. You are the professor. Your job is not to praise or critique the word, just point out the places that offer opportunities for more creativity. Let's start with just one. What's one aspect of this excerpt that could be made more original, distinctive, or creative? Don't give me suggestions yet. Just identify one specific place that is bland, unoriginal, or cliche, and then I give it my writing. It says one aspect that could be made more original or distinctive is the description of the protagonist's morning routine. The routine of waking up to an alarm, checking the time, and going through the motions of getting ready is quite common and lacks unique flavor. Yes, absolutely true. So I say, all right, give me 10 suggestions for how to make it more original or distinctive or creative. Be very brief with only one sentence. I don't want it writing a whole story for each suggestion. Okay. So it gives me these various options: a quirky vintage record player, a mysterious note in the bathroom mirror, a pet. These are all sort of like, none of them appeal to me, is what I should say. But they're also just like, they're quirky without being productive. Like there's nothing narratively productive here. And I know that because I understand what makes fiction work, like you do now at this phase in our course. So I'm going to leverage that knowledge, that expertise about what makes good fiction, into my prompt. These are pretty bad. I could probably make one work, but let's try again with more specific parameters. Something darker, something suggesting a kind of pain or conflict, since we know that is the lifeblood of fiction. But the suggestion of something dark should be very faint, just a hint, since the character's only undertaking a routine process and probably wouldn't be, like engaging their trauma while they're brushing their teeth. Okay, so give me 10 options. And now there are some that really start to appeal to me and seem like they could produce something really narratively substantial. Mysterious scars that seem to fade. Okay. But I like the idea of scars. As the protagonist dresses, they carefully conceal a small, peculiar tattoo. I like this because the tattoo both gives access to something from the past, and the act of concealing it seems interesting to me. Okay, so I say some of these are pretty melodramatic or cliche, but the second one about concealing the tattoo has great potential. Here's what I'm picturing. Now, again, this is me making the selection, but also riffing on it, using it to spark my own imagination. I'm picturing a tattoo of a wedding ring, and this guy covers it with makeup meant for the face, which I think is called concealer. How do you apply concealer? I don't know anything about this, so I'm using ChatGPT to help flesh out my knowledge. How do you apply concealer? With a brush? Or is it liquid? It tells me, so I say, okay, I'm getting a picture of how this would work. Let me go ahead and write this morning routine. I'm going to add some more distinctive details, and I'm going to use this idea of the concealer. In the morning, he grits his teeth for 2 minutes in an icy shower and emerges feeling exultant, more alert and euphoric than any dose of caffeine could provide. So that's just, instead of just a regular morning routine, there's something distinctive here, an icy shower. He slides his $400 Sonicare Prestige 990 around his molars. Again, the specificity makes it more distinctive, right? And then, most interestingly, uncaps his jar of concealer, a new bottle from Dior, and with his fingertip carefully rubs out the wedding band tattooed on his fourth finger, just as the woman at the makeup counter showed him. The substance looks powdery against the strands of knuckle hair, but the tattoo is gone. So at this point, here's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling really engaged in this production of material because it's coming from my own imagination and it's sparking further ideas. Okay, so it identified the place that could be improved. It gave me an idea for how to improve it, but again, I am doing the writing myself. It tries to rewrite it. I say, no, thank you. I say, let's go back to the original passage. Find me one other element that is bland or cliche or unoriginal. So I'm giving it the same task, like find me something else that needs some pumping up. It says, well, what about the protagonist's interest in coffee and the coffee shop? Like that's a pretty bland setting, a pretty common setting, and also the way it goes down with the interaction with the barista, it's all normal. There's nothing distinctive. Okay, so I say, give me 10 options for the romantic interest. It gives me a bunch of stuff I can't use, like, okay, Marley the barista is an amateur botanist. Fine, but that's not apparent when you walk into the shop. So I modify my request. He walks into the coffee shop and notices something about Marley that is particular and distinctive. Give me 10 options for what? And it gives me some better ones. I'm going to jump on this first one. There's a small antique hourglass on the counter, and she times each customer's order with it, ensuring they experience the perfect brew time. I don't know about the perfect brew time, but I like this idea. It speaks to me. So I say, yeah. Okay, here's how it's going to go. Marley takes his order. Again, I'm writing myself. So this I'm writing it in ChatGPT, but I could be writing this in a document. I would pull this out and stick it in my document for my exercise. This is my writing, but it's coming from ChatGPT's ideas. Marley takes his order and turns over the hourglass. Timing yourself, he asks, and Marley says, new directive from management and their infinite wisdom. Gotta go, clock's ticking. 30 seconds passes, the opportunity gone, when the response occurs to him, not ticking, pouring. When she returns with his mocha, he says it, and she looks at him as if he's just sprouted a third eye. The clock, he says. The hourglass? She says, I get it, haha, just like that. Not as words, not actual laughter. He feels better after stuffing a 20 in the tip jar, which gets a more genuine reaction from her. And so again, this leads me to like this next inflection point where like he over tips. This is a guy I'm picturing like being really wealthy, and his need to do that and his feeling of satisfaction when he's basically like buys her attention, that's interesting to me. So it's not just that ChatGPT has helped me improve this moment. It's that it has helped spark my imagination for the direction of the story. Okay, so again, I would like for you to do your own writing using ChatGPT's brainstorming capacities, but then after you do your writing, use ChatGPT to help you find the places where it can be improved. Do that to your exercise, and let's see what you're capable of when using ChatGPT in this more specific manner. I can't wait to find out.